Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Unique Items. So today we're going to be looking at another Necromancer head. Of course, we're just going to cover all three of these heads. I just finished covering Bone Flame, and I also just finished covering Dark Force Spawn Skull. And so the last one that we're going to cover for the Necromancer heads for right now is the Homunculus Bloodlord Skull. The reason why we're covering all three of these in tandem is because they are kind of like very similar choices for Necromancers, and it really comes down to what specifically you need on your Necromancer. But let's take a look at the Homunculus, and let's see what the Homunculus can do for our Necromancer, right? So we have a very nice defense of 444 on this, which is pretty sweet. It is a Hierophant trophy, so it can be upgraded to a Bloodlord Skull, if I remember correctly. The Hierophant trophy has only a defense of 213. It has a chance to block of 72% because of the very nice bonuses on this particular shield, and it does not go up when you upgrade it. The level requirement on the Homunculus is only level 42, so it is relatively easy to find as a lower level character, and it does go up to level 72 when it is upgraded. It has a strength requirement of only 58 when it is in its Hierophant trophy form. 58 is relatively low, and it only goes up to 106 when upgraded, which is not bad. Honestly, it is a pretty solid item to upgrade specifically for the extra defense. It doesn't really go up enough in strength or level requirement to be that devastating, especially since you'll probably be using this toward the end of the game. It does have +2 to curses on it and +2 to Necromancer skill levels. So a total of +4 to curses and +2 to everything else. We have 30% faster block rate on here, 40% increased chance of blocking, both of which will come in really handy if you actually want to build a blocking Necromancer. And we also have 200% enhanced defense on here, which does vary by 50%, so 150 to 200%. I also have 20 energy, which is static, 33% regenerate mana, which will come in really handy if you are a character who is constantly burning up mana. And the more mana you have, the faster it regenerates, so it also gives you a little bit of extra mana, which will help out that regeneration as well. We also have all resistances 40, which is static, which is absolutely amazing. So that means that whenever you find this particular item, it's going to be in relatively good shape. The only thing that you're really worried about when it comes to this shield is the defense, and the defense doesn't really matter too much. But I would try and find yourself a close to 200% if you were going to upgrade it. That way your Lem & Co. investment would be, a relatively good one. We also have +5 to mana after each kill, which comes in handy a lot because the +5 to mana after each kill is just going to give you 5 mana for every monster that dies. And it's going to be a pretty massive amount of mana just coming back to you at all times as everything dies around you. So not only does it give you a pretty healthy amount of regeneration, a pretty nice amount of energy on top of that, as well as a really nice block chance, it also gives you the extra mana after each kill and can be very, very useful. Homunculus is definitely a solid choice for an endgame Necromancer, and there are other choices though. So for instance, we have the Dark Force Spawn Bloodlord Skull, which I just did a video on, and the Bone Flame Succubus Skull, which I just did a video on. Now the Bone Flame is kind of like the in-between. So it has the resistances, not as much, it's only +30, and it has +3 Necromancer skills instead of +2. So it's more on the offensive side, less on the defensive side. It has no block chance generally at all, no faster blocking, the defense is a little bit lower, and in general just tends to be kind of less on the defensive side and more on the offensive side. The Dark Force Spawn Blood Skull is even more on the offensive side because it has no resistances whatsoever. And having no resistances whatsoever makes it a very interesting choice. But it does have +3 and faster cast, which is makes it a very good choice for specific characters. So it really comes down to what specifically do you need? Do you need faster blocking, all resistances, and regeneration? Do you need specifically +3 to skills? Is +3 to skills more important than everything else, but you would still like to get your a little bit of your resistances? Or is the faster cast the most important thing for you? Because that's really what it comes down to between these three choices. A lot of the times you will have this one first because Homunculus is something that drops a lot sooner than everything else, being only a level 42 item in its Hierophant trophy form. I feel like we need to go take a look and see where we could potentially find ourselves a Homunculus because it is just an amazing Necromancer item that a lot of Necromancers probably want to get their hands on. Now, assuming level 45, we're going to say we have 150% Magic Find. I feel like that is fair. And let's go over to Silo's Pen and let's take a look and see what kind of monsters we have to kill to get this item. So first, let's take a look at bosses, and we'll sort by probability. And we're going to look at non-quest kills, of course. So it looks like our best chance to find this item is Bale in Nightmare difficulty, with a 1 in 2,273 chance. And Dariel in Hell also has a pretty good chance at 1 in 2,420. But of course, if this is a lower level item, we'd like to find this before we hit Hell difficulty. So let's take a look specifically at Nightmare bosses. And we do have a very short list here, but Nightmare Diablo has a pretty decent chance at 1 in 2,900. That might be a good option if you can kill Diablo reliably. Let's see. Mephisto in Nightmare, not a great chance at 1 in 13,000, but he's definitely someone that's easy to farm. Let's take a look at Super Uniques. So Super Uniques, we've got Neelathak, Cow King, Pindleskin in Nightmare at 1 in 26,000. Not exactly great. A lot of these are really not great chances. I mean, Doc Farron, Eldritch, we got Shank. A lot of these are pretty obvious monsters in Nightmare difficulty for farming. Let's take a look at all real quick, though, and see if there's any with a better probability. So we've got the Cow King in Hell with 1 in 6,968. That's not bad at all. We also have the Cow King in Nightmare with 1 in 24,999. Not a lot of really good chances here. There's an interesting one here, though. Bishy-Bosh, Rockanishu, Treehead, Woodfist, and Hell difficulty. These are actually really easy monsters to farm in Hell difficulty because they're in Act 1. They're relatively easy to get to because Treehead Woodfish is obviously always next to the Tree of Infus. Rockanishu is always next to his little stones. And Bishy-Boss is always in a camp in Cold Plains. And each one of these can be farmed relatively easy by an entry-level Hell character. And they also tend to drop Harlequin Crest Shaco, which is something that you're going to be looking for as well as a Necromancer. So keep your eyes on them. That might be a good choice. Anyway, as always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, even when we're talking about 3 severed heads, you know, tied to sticks with little ropes on them so you can carry them around and look intimidating. Isn't that right, Cow King? Hold on, see if I can. There you go. See, I got a Cow King head. I wonder what kind of stats he has. Yeah, block with him. How would you even go about repairing a head anyway? Could you imagine that? Like, imagine you have a head and you're blocking with the head, right? You're ching, 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 and you go back to town. It's all beat up and chipped and everything. Take it to Charcy, and Charcy's like, I can't repair this. What do you? This isn't metal. I can't just like glue new bone in there. Anyway, as always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, and keep watching.